flat. Today we're going to take you through a full body workout. So let's go.
The academic programs at IMG Academy are designed to be complementary to our athletic programs, but our goal is to be admitted and successful at the nation's most select institutions. The competition that's out on the field or on the court turns over into the classroom where students are looking to push themselves. Each year, we generally feature National Merit Scholars, AP Scholars, the Service Academies, the Ivy Leagues, elite academic D3 institutions, and everywhere in between. Ultimately, we want to provide the best fit for each of our student athletes. The academic program has 3 tracks. First and foremost is our college preparatory track. Then we have a full honors track beginning in 8th grade. And then lastly, we have AP courses for our most academically competitive students. Over the last few years, the academic program has grown both in its physical size, as we recently added 30,000 square feet for an increased number of classrooms, a dedicated English as a second language space, 2 hands-on engineering labs, as well as a broadcast TV studio space. We've increased the overall number of faculty to help keep our class sizes down, as well as add depth and breadth to the curriculum by adding new courses each year. At IMG Academy, our goal is to provide the skills and the knowledge to help our student athletes prepare for success at their chosen college or university.
There's a fog out there, and it's calling you by name. It wants to wrap its whole self around you, make you forget who you are. But you won't forget. You've got to find your way through that fog, through the unknown. There's only one way.
Do you really think the greatest of all time just came from nowhere? Of course not. Because everyone starts somewhere, and champions start here. Grown rep by rep, conditioned by pro-level coaches who have earned their stripes. Built in elite camps, training day after day. Drilled until second nature becomes first. Start at IMG Academy.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
This is your game. You live it, breathe it, dream it. And so do we. We design it, test it, build it, and repeat. This is what you live for. Zenith. Live your game.
You think you know us? You think you know what we're about?
One IMG Academy here in Florida.
You think you know what it takes to succeed here? To focus? To grind?
Here we go.
Every single day? You don't even know the half of it.
Let's go.
This here is a brotherhood. We're talking about a got your back now and forever.
Let it out.
Push you harder than you've ever been pushed kind of brotherhood. It's a brotherhood that recognizes the success that came before us and the expectations for us to maintain it. Because the last thing we'd ever do is disappoint our brothers.
24th pick, Cesar Ruiz. 44th pick, Grant Delpit. 46th pick, KJ Hamler.
Scarborough breaks the tackle, surging forward, he's in for the touchdown.
We hear what you're saying. The haters, the doubters, the people who throw shots without any idea of the work we put in and the sacrifices we make. But we'll let you in on a little secret. It doesn't matter. You know why? We hold ourselves to a higher standard than anyone could ever set for us. Work harder. Get stronger. Be smarter. Play faster. Dream bigger.
Unreal. IMG dominating. This one getting a little out of control.
This is a brotherhood. So you think you know us? Well, you're about to find out.
Welcome to Bradenton, Florida, as the IMG national team welcomes in the Life Christian Academy from Chester, Virginia. I'm John Vitas alongside Josh Phillips as we get ready for the fourth game of the year for the IMG national team. An unusual year, Josh. Obviously a lot going on with the coronavirus, but credit to the folks here on campus they've been able to make this all happen, and we've got a great football game on tap tonight.
Well, IMG has the best facilities in the world, and I'm not surprised that they'd be able to handle this and roll with the punches and make sure these kids could be safe while they could still play this game. I know that both sides are excited to get out here and play this football game tonight. I was speaking with some of the Life Christian Academy coaches before the game, and they're excited about this matchup. They want the challenge of the IMG Ascenders, and they're coming in with confidence. 1-1 going against the Ascenders, who are 3-0 at this point, but their confidence is high, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, folks at home can see the rain coming down on your screen. It's very playable. Fortunately, no severe weather at this stage of the night, so we are good to go for the 7 o'clock start. Right now, 75 degrees, light rain here in Bradenton. So, again, the weather should play a factor. The field is very wet. It's been raining for quite a while, so we'll keep an eye on the footing as this game goes along, but that could play a pretty big role in this game. Both of these teams are familiar going out of state. The Life Christian Academy is based out of Virginia, but they've played teams from Arkansas and Texas so far this year. Only a 4-game schedule for them right now. But 1-1, they're coming off a win in the state of Texas against Steele High School, 26-14. They've played 2 close games so far this year, so that could help them out, especially early on against IMG. They've played no close games, Josh. 3-0, coming off a 45-14 win at Ravenwood in Tennessee.
Yeah, the Ascenders have been rolling. They're outscoring their opponents 142-34 in their first 3 contests, and they've got weapons all over the field, John. Their wide receivers are excellent. Their quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, is averaging 238 yards per game, and he has not thrown an interception yet. So he's been very particular with the choices he's made. The backfield of Lavassier Carroll, Katron Allen, and Xavier Terrell have just mashed up opposing defenses. They've rushed and pretty much done whatever they've wanted to on the ground. And with wet weather tonight, both these teams may try to go to the ground early. We'll see what a factor the weather plays in the passing game.
Yeah, Lavassier Carroll averaging 12.5 yards per rush, so he is a key piece to keep an eye on if you're watching at home with an interest in the Ascenders. You see, we're just about ready for kickoff. IMG will get the ball first. as they look to get on top once again. Again, they've scored 40 points or more in all 3 of their matchups so far. And we'll see the offense in just a moment. McCarthy headed to Michigan and Carroll headed to Georgia. Plenty of other talented guys up front for IMG as well. You see the Life Christian Academy helmets, Crimson Tide-esque. They've got the numbers, that burgundy color as well. Once again, Life Christian Academy out of the state of Virginia in the crimson and white tonight, and IMG in those black jerseys with white helmets, white pants, and blue trim. So it's a cool, muggy, rainy night here in Southwest Florida as the Ascenders look to get to 4-0 on the year. The return man is Desmond Ricks for the Ascenders.
The kicker for Life Christian Academy gives me flashbacks of Sebastian Janikowski.
He's got some size, and that one will be fielded at about the 5. Twisting move towards the outside, and taken down is Ja'Cory Brooks, the talented wide receiver in the return game, sets up the Ascenders with a 1st and 10.
Brooks spun off that first tackler and gained a couple extra yards there. The Ascenders start this first drive in good field position at about their own 25-yard line.
So here comes J.J. McCarthy, one of the top quarterback recruits in the nation. Some would call him the best quarterback recruit in the United States. Coming down from the state of Illinois, made a last-minute decision when his high school season was wiped out due to COVID, and is now at the helm for the Ascenders, the only IMG national team player to attempt to pass this season. McCarthy swings it right, easy catch for Brooks. He's got some blocking and breaks it free. Ja'Cory Brooks across midfield has plenty of space ahead of him, and he will take it all the way. Ascenders up 6-0 on the first play of the night.
That is quite a way to send a message on their first play from scrimmage. An easy completion, just throw a quick screen out to Brooks, but Brooks did all the work after that. The other receivers out there did a good job of blocking for him, but he just absolutely destroyed the angle of safety Antonio Kottman, and we saw some legit speed out of Brooks on that play.
Gavin Marshall, the kicker, on for the extra point. Brooks headed to Alabama. He'll be wearing the crimson and white next year, but beating the crimson and white tonight for a long passing touchdown as the extra point is good, and it's 7-0 IMG. I mean, just 2 perfect blocks on the outside and plenty of speed for Brooks to take it to the house.
Well, I mean, that's why teams like IMG throw those kind of plays at you, because they want their athletes out in space with an opportunity to just do what they do and make plays, and Brooks certainly did that on that play. Quite a start for the Ascenders, and I mean, for the Eagles emotionally to get punched in the mouth like that on the first play from scrimmage, we'll see what kind of character they have to bounce back from that.
Yeah, that is a quick start. We are 21 seconds into the ball game, and already Life Christian finds themselves a touchdown behind. Just so many weapons for IMG to go to. You get the ball out in the flat with that much space, I mean, the playmakers are going to make plays, and that's what Ja'Cory Brooks did there, a long touchdown catch. That was his 12th reception of the year and his 3rd touchdown. Again, just starting out the 4th game of the season. So Marshall teeing up the kickoff after making the extra point, and we'll see the Life Christian offense momentarily. This is a low kick, fielded at about the 8 and muffed. Ball is still loose. Now spinning and turning into black jerseys is Jordan Kottman, and he is tackled at the 15-yard line. So Life Christian backed up inside their own 20 to start their first offensive possession.
That was a scary play for the Eagles for Kottman to bobble that catch there and put that ball on the ground. Luckily for him, he was able to get a hold of it and still get a few positive yards, but sets Life Christian up inside their own 20, looks about their own 15 to start their first drive tonight.
Shane Hoover is in the shotgun for Life Christian. Got 3 receivers to the right on their first play. Running back in motion, that's Michael Dabney. Swing pass to the right, and it's dropped by Kottman.
The Eagles tried a similar play to what IMG started out with. They tried a little screen out there to Kottman, and early in this game, Kottman seems to have the bobbles a little bit. Wasn't able to haul that one in. He had some room to run out there if he'd been able to make the catch.
He's bobbled a couple. You got to think nerves are a factor coming all the way down to Florida to play this heralded team and then getting 2 quick touches. Got burned on the first play of the game, and he's bobbled a couple now. Same formation. Kottman goes in motion this time. And heavy pressure coming. There's a fumble on the sack. Picked up by IMG. They're going to be ruled down at about the 2-yard line. A quick turnover committed by Life Christian.
Malik Bryant, number 5 for the Ascenders, comes off the edge. He makes contact with the quarterbacks and able to get the strip sack on that one. Bryant is leading the Ascenders with 1.2 sacks per game, and he continues the streak of what he's been doing, getting the turnover here on that first drive for the Eagles. You see here Bryant is going to come off the edge, and he is literally untouched, so I believe that is a mistake, some type of blocking miscue by the Eagles, but Bryant not only makes the tackle, but is able to jar that ball loose, and the Ascenders are set up here first and goal from, it looks like, the 2-yard line.
That was Liam McCormick on the recovery, and the Ascenders are set up. A chance for 2 touchdowns in the first minute of the ball game. It's a roll to the right. McCarthy's got it, and nobody knows. J.J. McCarthy into the end zone for a rushing touchdown, and it's 13-0 IMG.
The old naked bootleg gives a great run fake there. McCarthy really sells that fake, and the entire Eagles defense pursued that, and as he rolled out, he had no contest to get into the end zone out there in the flat. Nice play to start off, and the Ascenders have all the momentum at this point.
Just a perfect fake. Everything was moving left, and McCarthy pulled that ball away and took it into the end zone. The extra point is good again. And, folks, we aren't even 1 minute into this ball game, and it's already a 2-touchdown margin.
Yeah, I don't think this is how Life Christian Academy wanted this game to start, and they're going to get another possession here. They want to hold on to the football, and really what they need to do at this point is get a couple of first downs, at least possess the ball for a few minutes, get a couple of first downs and move forward. I know that their line is very big, so is the Ascenders line. That's a good matchup, but they wanted to come out and run the football tonight. I think they're going to try to do that to try to reestablish some calm and see if they can possess the ball.
Yeah, they had 2 passing plays out of the gates, and neither of them went particularly well. They had a drop and then a sack. So it's 14-0. These 2 teams met last year as well, and IMG took care of business. 43-16 was the final. The kick is up. It's going to be Kottman again from inside his own 5. Handled it cleanly this time, has a seam, able to get out to about the 30-yard line, so better field position this time around for the Eagles.
John, you talked about potentially having jitters coming out in a game like this. Get your hand on the ball a couple times. Kottman was able to cleanly catch that one and hit the hole, and does set the Eagles up in good field position from their own 30-yard line.
So they'll go with that same formation, trips right, and their quarterback Hoover in the shotgun. Still looking for a positive play. 54 seconds into this game. Hoover looks left, pumps, and the pass is broken up. Good defensive play on the far side from number 2, Marcavius Brown.
Brown was sitting on that route. He was not threatened vertically at all, and so he jumped that, and he stripped it out. Way to start the game for him.
I think Hoover was looking for the inside slot receiver, then had to adjust at the last moment as the inside corner jumped the route and then had to go in a different direction. It didn't work out. And we've got motion before the snap as a flag comes in. And there's going to be a false start against Life Christian, so back them up. 2nd and 15 now.
Everything's heading the wrong direction for Life Christian Academy at this point.
Yeah, tough start. We'll see if they rebound. Got a lot going against them. They're out of their own state. It's raining. They're playing one of the best teams in the country, and they've come out on their heels and already down 2 scores. That's Kottman in motion. They give it to the other back. And a small gain up the middle, 1 or 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and long.
Swallowed up by that Ascenders D-line.
Anthony Turner Jr. on the carry. So 3rd and about 13 for Life Christian. So 4 plays so far, Josh, and just 1 running play, which was the game plan coming in, and now they're forced to throw on 3rd and long.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to be in a 3rd and long situation when the opponent knows that you have to throw it.
And they're going to hand it off and play it safe. And there's another fumble. Scooped up by IMG, and they'll have a 1st and goal.
Yeah. Trayshawn Mason, number 6, puts the ball on the ground, and it looked as if Malik Bryant, who caused the first fumble, recovered the second fumble. He scooped and was taking that towards the end zone, and again it sets up the Ascenders. They are 1st and goal again at about the 9-yard line. Just everything is going their way early in this contest.
So that's 2 turnovers for Malik Bryant in less than 2 minutes. And IMG has a chance to go up 3 scores. So it's McCarthy in the gun, 2 receivers to either side. Back to pass. Looking over the middle. The pass is caught for a touchdown. Ari Allen over the middle, or is it incomplete?
It's incomplete.
Looks like he dropped it.
Yeah, he didn't possess it all the way to the ground, John. Initially, it looked like he had it, but as he hit the ground, the ball popped out, and so they didn't give him credit for that catch. The ball was a little bit behind by McCarthy, but I will say the Ascenders' offensive line gave him plenty of time.
Yeah, he found his guy, and Allen was open. Not an easy catch in this rain, running full speed over the middle. And like you said, a little low and behind him. He swings it right this time, and that one is caught. Nice move inside the 5. That throw looked like it might have been a little bit off, but Allen this time was able to haul it in and make a couple guys miss.
Yeah, he definitely bounced back from that last play when he wasn't able to haul it in. That one he juggled, he bobbled it. He gets hit as he's bobbling it and actually reels it in, bounces off that tackler, bounces off another tackler, and continues to move forward.
McCarthy back to the gun on 3rd and goal. They hand it off towards the left side, and he's in. Touchdown, IMG. Believe that was Katron Allen into the end zone.
Katron Allen. The Ascenders have their own version of thunder and lightning here. Allen tends to be a power runner. He's definitely shifty as well, but he breaks a lot of tackles. Lavassier Carroll has got jets. He has seriously got some speed. I've seen him break several long runs this season.
So Katron Allen with a touchdown on his first carry of the night, and it's 21-0 as the extra point is true. So that's the 5th touchdown already this year for Katron Allen. Another look.
Good blocking by that Ascenders line. They open up the hole. Really, there were 2 places Allen could have taken that. He cuts it up. He really only had 1 defender even make contact with him on his way into the end zone. And I don't want to overstate this, but being down 3 touchdowns, only a couple of minutes gone, it could be demoralizing. And I want to see a good game tonight. I want to see the Ascenders win, but I want to see a good game tonight. But it's going to take some character. It's going to take some momentum to swing the other way for the Eagles to get back into this one. The Ascenders are just rolling all over them at this point.
I mean, this is about as fast as you could possibly score 3 touchdowns. You had 2 quick turnovers deep in their own end by Life Christian, and like you said, it's demoralizing. They came all the way down here to try and keep this game close, and now they're playing a catch-up from 3 touchdowns down. So hopefully they can get their footing and make some plays here and make this game interesting as Cotman fields from the goal line. Heads towards the far side of the field, able to get the sideline and wrestle out of bounds across the 20.
Cotman was able to bounce that one outside. The edge player, the contain player for IMG on that play, lost contain. He was able to get outside, but the pursuit tracked him down before he could make a huge gain out of it.
Now, Jason, you've played football professionally. I'm sure you've had some deficits, Josh. I'm sure you've had some deficits that you were not thrilled about early on. What's it like on the sideline morale-wise at this stage? How do you bounce back from this?
This is one of these times where you have to depend on the work that you've put in, the things that you've done in the offseason when you've been down, when you've had rough days, to say, hey, you know what? We've worked too hard. we know that we can execute. We just got to get out here and string a couple plays together.
Turner takes the handoff up the middle, picks up a few. So a positive play to start the drive. Gain of about 3.
2nd and 7 is way better than any down and distance they've had thus far.
They got backed up with a penalty on the last possession and then turned it over on 3rd down. Hoover in the gun. Hands it off again. Looks like the same play. And again, a positive play, gain of about another 3 or 4.
Well, Gene Townsell Jr., big Gene Townsell Jr., number 9 for Life Christian, is in the backfield. And he's a big boy. And I can't tell you his actual weight, but I can just tell you he's a load coming downhill blocking, and that's what he's in there to do.
Could be a factor here on 3rd and 2. The Senders showing pressure as Life Christian changes the play at the line. Hoover hands it off. It's Turner up the middle, and it'll be close. Was able to fall forward, but he might be a yard short.
IMG showed blitz on that play. They had all the linebackers up in the gaps. Every gap was accounted for.
And it is 4th and 1. Looks like they'll go for it here, leaving the offense on the field. As the rain continues to fall here. They continue to split out 3 receivers, 2 men in the backfield with Hoover. Handoff, it's Turner, left tackle falling forward, and I think he got it. Across the 30 to the 31, and that'll be enough.
The Eagles desperately needed to get that first down. That's a situation where I don't know if they were down 3 scores already, if they were on that same down and distance on that same spot of the field, that you would go for it on 4th down if it was a close game. But being down 3 touchdowns with all the momentum going in the Ascenders' favor, I really think that the Eagles just felt like we have to possess the ball. We cannot give the ball right back to IMG right now.
So under center for the first time is Hoover. 2 men in the backfield. They've got a tight end in there as well. Handoff up the middle and gang tackled at the 35, a gain of a few. That was Turner again, so they are focusing on him on this drive and playing it slower and definitely more steady as we reach the midpoint here of the first quarter.
Terrell Foster came up from his safety position and got involved on that one. Also Jordan Hall. Jordan Hall has been the leading tackler. He's averaging 9 tackles a game for the Ascenders thus far this season, and they combined on that stop.
Looks like we got a helmet malfunction. You've got a good look at it. That was Jordan Hall getting some help on his helmet. So 2nd and 7 for Life Christian at their own 35. Again, a handoff. This is Turner spinning through a linebacker and pulling up short of the 40.
It was Hall on the tackle again.
Good one-on-one play there. 3rd and 3 yards or so.
And see, this is more of what I expected, John. The Eagles are going to the ground game. They're trying to possess the ball. They're trying to enforce their will and eat up some clock and try to get themselves back into this game.
So Hoover back into the gun with 2 men flanking him. Ascenders rush 5. Throw over the middle is incomplete.
Coverage on that one by number 30, Terrell Foster. He was right on that back shoulder of the tight end, number 17, DeAndre Martin, but he was able to break that play up. Martin had a chance to reel it in, but he just didn't catch it.
So the Eagles went for it on 4th and 1 back in their own end and thought about going for it again on 4th and 3, but this time they'll decide to punt instead.
Brooks is back deep. Brooks has already had a big return and a huge catch and touchdown.
And the punt is partially blocked. It was a bad snap. It's going to be picked up by the Ascenders at the 30-yard line of Life Christian. So essentially another turnover there on the blocked punt. It was not a good snap, and Jameel Anderson, who's a receiver, also punting for Life Christian, banked it off of one of those IMG rushers.
Anderson has a good leg. I saw him kicking in warm-ups, and he was kicking some beautiful punts. But like you said, it was not a good snap, and that snap took him out from behind that little mini wall that he had that was supposed to be the kick point, and that opened him up to get the block, also delayed it a little bit, and it's just like an avalanche right now. I can only imagine how the Eagles feel. The Ascenders are just making play after play, and the Eagles really haven't been able to execute with any consistency.
This is the third possession in a row that IMG will start in plus territory. Essentially 3 consecutive turnovers after that blocked punt.
They've only started on their own side of the field once, and they scored a 80-yard touchdown almost on their first play.
Oh, McCarthy looking to throw. Goes short left. Catch is made over the middle. That's number 11, Malik McLean, picking up the first down for the Ascenders.
Now Malik McLean caught the ball, made 2 quick moves, was able to get vertical. He's got a little bit of shake in him. Those Eagles defenders better wrap up when they come to tackle tonight.
4 receivers again. It's Brooks and Miller split out right. A man in motion, that's Ari Allen. The ball goes up the middle, and another touchdown for the Ascenders. This time it's Lavassier Carroll. It's a 4-score lead for IMG.
That hole opened up huge, John. He went to the right side of that offensive line, Carroll did, and the Red Sea parted, and then it was just him in the secondary. He's got blazing speed. He made 1 cut, another cut, and then he was in the end zone, hardly touched.
So 2 rushing plays for IMG and 2 touchdowns. We've got a flag here before the extra point. So
Too many men on the field for the Eagles.
And that is the call, so they'll mark half the distance. Give him 1 yard closer. But Carroll and Katron Allen, 1 carry, 1 touchdown for both of them. That was a longer run.
Lining up for the kick again.
Gavin Marshall hits it one more time. So he is 4 for 4 on the extra points. And it's 28-0 IMG with just under 5 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Carroll takes the handoff again. That hole on the right side was huge. He only had 1 defender to make miss on that play. It was a safety coming up from the secondary, and he made the cut, and the safety was hardly able to get hands on him. Carroll was into the end zone for the touchdown.
Greg Crippen with an excellent block on that run, and like you said, all kinds of space for Carroll to work with. And like you said, avalanche was a perfect way to describe it. It's been an overwhelming first quarter for Life Christian.
Really, when you get in this situation, it's almost like you got to wash off the scoreboard and say, hey, you know what? This is for the Eagles. We can't play the scoreboard right now. We just have to play by play. If you think about how much you're down, it is demoralizing, and it's kind of like, what do we do? So we go back to the drawing board. We don't play the scoreboard. We say, hey, execute this play on this down. Just do your job, and that's what I believe the Eagles coaches are going to try to get them to do on this possession.
Yeah, you got to play like it's 0-0. See if you can keep it even the rest of the way. Kottman knocks it down, brings it across the 20, and it's tripped up short of the 30-yard line, so that's where the Eagles will start this drive.
Again, the ball was bouncing around on the ground. Kottman did not field it cleanly. He was able to make something out of the return once he was able to pick it up, and then that Ascender coverage team collapsed on him.
So they'll start it right at the 30-yard line. The rain continues to fall. We don't get this much, Josh, here in Southwest Florida. Just consistent light rain. Usually it's all or nothing, thunderstorm or sunshine, but we've got a consistent light rain falling on a pretty cool night in Southwest Florida. Handoff up the middle. Dragging defenders is Turner. He's going to end up picking up about 6 yards there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be stopped for a shorter gain, but he kept his legs churning and kept pushing. A couple guys got into the pile and started pushing him. He was able to lean forward and get a couple more yards there.
He's been their go-to guy since that first possession. And they did pick up a first down on their last drive, chewed up some time as well as we near the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. Hoover under center. Hands it off up the middle. This time getting to the second level is Turner, and that's a first down for Life Christian.
That's a good, solid gain for them. Safe run play, and Turner was able to bust through and get a first down for the Eagles. They need a lot more of that.
Yeah, you could see a hat for a hat blocking up front there. Life Christian picked up everybody, and the linebacker made the play for IMG, but not before Turner got the first down. 1st and 10 from the 42. Handoff up the middle again, and another positive play for Life Christian. Gain of about 3. I believe that was Michael Dabney Jr., and it was number 1.
Sam Fury makes the tackle for the Ascenders, number 44.
So if you can go 3-yard run, 6-yard run, 5-yard run, you're going to move the chains as they near midfield here. 2nd and 7. They go to Dabney again. He's got some space to the left, and he springs it along the far sideline. Dabney inside the 30 of IMG, a gain of more than 20.
That is something that the Eagles have needed. A big play. Dabney was able to break away. The Ascenders had a chance to make that play early, but you can't let Dabney get rolling. He's definitely got speed, and once he got outside in the open field, he was moving.
I believe it's a gain of 30 for Dabney. They hand it off to him again, and he's got some space again. The hole is quickly closed, but he does pick up a few, gain of 3 or 4. As we get a look at the replay.
Dabney takes the ball. The blocking was good on that play. Dabney was into the second level immediately. Then he was able to bounce it outside.
Looked like it was Drayshawn Taylor had a nice block for Life Christian. As the flag was flown, but it's just a sideline warning. But it's nice to feel some energy coming from that far sideline. Because as soon as that play happened, you could just feel them come to life on that far side. Hoover under center, I formation. Hands it off left. And another short gain. I believe that was Turner, who they went back to there. And 3rd and less than 2 yards for the Eagles.
This is a pivotal 3rd down. They need to keep this momentum. The Eagles need a score. They've got to put some points on the board.
Yeah, you're thinking touchdown if you're Life Christian. Field goals don't do you any good with this score. Turner has some space, pushing forward, and he picks up a first down for the Eagles. Inside the 10, it'll be 1st and goal.
Turner was able to break a tackle there from big number 95, Paul Hudson. He had a chance, Hudson did, to make that play in the backfield, but Turner was able to rip through that arm tackle and get into the second level, get the first down. The Eagles are in business here.
Yeah, head coach Charles Scott has to feel a lot better about this drive. Chance to put points on the board. Hand off to Turner. Breaks it free up the middle, and he will score. So Life Christian gets on the board as Anthony Turner Jr. punches it in for Life Christian.
Life Christian has life at this point in the game. They were dead in the water before that possession, but they were able to get back on the scoreboard, make it a 3-score game, and Turner with a great run. Turner carried the majority of times on that drive. He didn't have the big play, but he had the consistent plays that kept the chains moving.
Yeah, certainly over 10 carries by this point for Turner here in the first. We're still in the first quarter. We've seen 5 touchdowns already. As you see, Hoover changing the play at the line as they go for 2 here. Couple receivers right, couple tight ends in the formation as well. And we've got a flag before the play. And I think it's going to be on IMG. It is. So they'll mark half the distance, and it makes it an easier try now.
They might have got 34, Jordan Hall. He was trying to time up a run blitz on that play, and it looked like he stepped over the line and encroached offsides on the defense.
So now do they change the play, or do they keep it at what it was now that they're down to the 1 yard line for this attempt? Same formation, 2 receivers, a couple tight ends, and 2 men in the backfield. They hand it off to the fullback. No signal yet. And he's in. That was Drayshawn Taylor diving across the goal line for the 2-point conversion. And it's 28-8.
I'm not sure if the touchdown actually goes to Taylor or if the touchdown goes to the offensive lineman who recovered that ball in the end zone. I'm not sure if they called that a fumble or not. Taylor kept his legs driving. He lunged for the end zone. He was determined to get in there. The ball popped out. One of his linemen fell out. And anyway, here we go. Ball goes. That's the touchdown.
That's the touchdown.
That's
so
the touchdown to Turner, which a big hole on that, and he cut back into it. But here we go. The big fullback gets the ball. It does look like a fumble, but 74, Tylen Clark fell on it to get the 2-point conversion for Life Christian.
Yeah, Drayshawn Taylor was met right at the goal line, and there was no call, and you could see that stalemate last for a couple of seconds before he spun off the tackle and fell forward, but I believe you're right, Josh. I think they ruled out a fumble and then a recovery after that stalemate at the goal line. So here's the low kickoff that bounces to Brooks. He's going to try the near side of the field, and he's tripped up inside the 20-yard line. So IMG backed up, and like you said, the Eagles have some life.
Trayshawn Mason, number 6, comes down with the big hit on Brooks. And you can tell that Life Christian has some energy right now. They're getting fired up.
So now McCarthy, for the first time in 4 drives, will start on his own side of the field with his team not possessing the momentum, and we'll see how he reacts.
Now, Life Christian hasn't really slowed the Ascender attack yet. We'll see if their defense is able to rise up and get a stop, get a 3-and-out, get a turnover on this possession.
1:21 remaining in the first quarter. McCarthy swings it right for Brooks. That's the same play they scored the touchdown on earlier. This time the tackle is made, but right around the sticks is Ja'Cory Brooks, and it will be an Ascender first down.
Brooks is a dangerous man in the open field, and Life Christian is going to have to adjust to that because that's just too easy. That's a simple pitch and catch from J.J. McCarthy to Brooks. Doesn't take a lot to run that play, and they're killing him with it at this point.
I was Reed Pulliam, the linebacker, dropping back into coverage to make the tackle. Passes over the middle and caught by Jake Renda, the tight end, who picks up 5.
J.J. McCarthy has been super sharp. He hasn't had to throw the ball very much. Everything he's thrown has been short, but it's come out quickly, it's come out on time, and it's been in very catchable spaces. He's been sharp early.
That's Renda's first catch since he caught a 40-yard touchdown against Venice in Week 1. The Princeton, New Jersey native has his first catch of the night. McCarthy looks left, and the pass is incomplete, looking for Ari Allen.
I think that's McCarthy's first incompletion of the night. The ball might have been tipped, actually, as it came out of McCarthy's hand.
A good defense there by the corner. I believe that was Terrell Scott for Life Christian, and it sets up a 3rd and 6 for IMG. McCarthy back to pass. Looks to the near sideline, and the catch is made by Malik McLean, his second catch of the evening, and it moves the chains for the Ascenders.
The Eagles were playing a zone. The corner sunk. McLean got what he needed for the first down, turned around. That's like stealing. It's very easy for McCarthy to make that throw. McLean was able to haul it in for the first down.
Pretty simple pitch and catch there. McCarthy hands it off. This is Allen, Katron Allen into the open field. One man to beat, and he has a blocker, and he is gone. Katron Allen down the sideline for the 5th touchdown of the quarter for the Ascenders.
There was a lot to see on that play, John. I'm looking for the replay here. Katron Allen goes to wind that play back. Now, he had a wall. I mean, his offensive line did an incredible job blocking, but one of the coolest things to see on that play is that quarterback J.J. McCarthy comes flying out of the backfield to run up ahead of Allen to try to get that last block to make sure that he can get all the way into the end zone, which is a heck of an effort by him. I know the Michigan Wolverines are going to be excited to see a quarterback that plays with that much enthusiasm and passion.
Josh, have you ever seen a quarter with 6 touchdowns in it?
I have when I play Tecmo Bowl with Bo Jackson, and when Bo Jackson has the ball for the LA Raiders in 1980-some version of Nintendo Tecmo Bowl, I can score 6 touchdowns in a quarter. Otherwise, not usually.
I mean, this is a huge first quarter for the Ascenders. They've had very little resistance on offense, as there's McCarthy on the near side of your screen, ushering Allen down the sideline. He threw the block 50 yards downfield, Josh.
Yeah, he was flying to try to get up in front of Allen. Allen actually had to slow up to let him get in front, but McCarthy wanted to make that block to spring Allen for the touchdown. The Ascenders right now are playing with passion. They're playing with enthusiasm. They've got all the momentum on their side, and they are sharp tonight. They look really good. It's going to take a heck of a lot for Life Christian Academy to climb their way back in this contest.
Well, you hope that they can at least match them possession for possession offensively. As Kottman fields the kickoff. Across the 20, he's got a seam up the middle and able to push ahead past the 30-yard line.
Yep, good field position for the Eagles. They're going to take possession of the ball. Looks about like the 33, 34-yard line heading out. Another good return by Kottman. He was able to catch that ball cleanly.
He's had a couple nice returns now after that fumble on the first one, and he's had plenty of opportunities on kickoff return. And we will head to break as we have reached the end of the first quarter. 35-7 IMG on top. John Vitas and Josh Phillips welcoming you back to Bradenton, Florida, as we begin the second quarter live from the campus of the IMG Academy. 35-7, the Ascenders in full control in this one. We saw a couple of early turnovers from the Life Christian Academy really cost them control of this game, as IMG went up 21-0, and they have not looked back. Life Christian starting with their quarterback Shane Hoover under center. Handoff up the middle, and flashing through is Dabney. Dabney will pick up a first down for Life Christian.
Dabney exploded through that hole into the secondary. The Ascenders were able to get a hold of him and get him down, but Dabney has a lot of speed. He is an explosive runner.
You got to appreciate what this Eagles offensive line is doing. They're opening up some major gaps for the running backs. Dabney got tripped up there. Otherwise, he would have had some space to bounce it outside. It's a gain of 3, and it'll be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, the Eagles' running game has been decent tonight. The problem is that they turned the ball over early and gave the Ascenders short fields multiple times, and their defense really hasn't been able to stop anything the IMG offense has done thus far.
So the time of possession would really help that defense rest after they've given up 5 scores already. This is Dabney again up the middle, dragging a couple linebackers towards the sticks. He'll be about 2 yards short.
Sets the Eagles up for an important third down.
Are you surprised to see Dabney coming off the field? on 3rd and short.
Well, I mean, him and Turner are clearly two very different running backs. Turner's played well. Dabney, though, is the one that when he has the ball feels like a threat to go the distance.
Absolutely. 3rd and 1. They give it to Turner. Pushing towards the 6. It's going to be very close. Plenty of action there defensively for the Ascenders as the flag flies, so this play will come down to the penalty.
Yeah, it looks like the spot would be short, so we have to see if the penalty is going to give them the first down. They're marking it off.
So it's a face mask against IMG, and it'll be a 15-yard gain for the Eagles.
That's a big break. That's a big break for the Eagles at this point, and they need to keep putting points on the board to try to keep up with what IMG is doing. They also need to possess the ball and keep that defense off the field. Dabney is back in it, running back.
Official forgot his flag, going back to get it, as Dabney dots the I for Life Christian. Hoover looking to throw this time. Dumps it into the flat. Dabney has all kinds of space. He'll pick up the first down on the far sideline as he is upended inside the 20-yard line.
Now, that was a smart play design, and it's a good idea to get Dabney the ball in space. I will say O.J. Burrows came up from his secondary position and chopped Dabney down. That was a nice open field tackle by O.J. Burrows.
Now, Burrows from Savannah, Georgia, has 2 interceptions already this season. And it'll be a 1st and 10 right at or just inside the 20-yard line.
You can see the Eagles coaches trying to get their team fired up here, trying to keep them focused.
Well, we want to remind you and give a special thanks to our sponsors, Gatorade, Under Armour, and Zenith. And you folks watching at home, we encourage you to interact with us on social media platforms. Follow IMG on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow along at IMG Academy and use the hashtag brotherhood. And you can get all your IMG Academy gear on www.shopimg.com for your official IMG Academy online retailer. So another first down for the Eagles. They've picked up first downs on consecutive plays, a penalty, and then a short pass to Dabney, who was able to get past the line to gain. Hoover under center, hands it off to Dabney, was met in the backfields, and he will go down quickly.
Nick James, defensive lineman, got a good push that one. Pushed the Eagles line right back into Dabney's face, and he wasn't able to get started on that play. A little short loss on first down.
Yeah, Anthony Hunley on that defensive line has made an impact as well. Plenty of size up front for the Ascenders. Dabney remains in the backfield with Hoover under center again. 2nd and 10. They go to try the left side, and there is nothing there. Is that James again?
That might be, no, that is James again. You are right. That is number 19.
Nick James. And 3rd and long, a loss of 1 as we get another look.
Yeah, Nick James just beats his man right at the line of scrimmage and then slides down to get Dabney before he can get going for another loss of yardage. So now we've got 3rd and 10 plus for the Eagles.
And they're going to stay under center, maybe 4-down territory. Pressure coming. Pass in the flat is incomplete. Over to the head of Turner as the quarterback took a big hit. Hoover ends up on the ground, and it's 4th and 10.
Ade Willie, number 20, put the pressure on. He was right in the face of Hoover before he could get that ball out. He forced that high throw. Turner wasn't able to get it, and there was space out there. If Turner had been able to catch that ball, he might have been able to get all the way into the end zone because they had that screen well set up.
Yeah, if Hoover just had a half second more to focus on that pass and get it to Turner. That could have been a really positive play for Life Christian, but instead it's an incompletion, and it's 4th and long. I mean, you have to give Hoover credit just for getting rid of that ball and not taking the sack.
Yeah, he did a good job to get rid of it, but it was a high throw.
So a timeout taken by Life Christian, and we will step aside real quick. You're watching IMG Football.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
8:55 to go in the first half. All IMG so far in this one. They lead 35-8. And a whistle before the snap on 4th down for Life Christian. Going for it on 4th and 10. Kind of that in-between part of the field. Maybe a little too far for a field goal. Not that that does you a ton of good in this type of a game, but also too far down the field to punt. And we got a false start, which will make it 4th and 15, maybe 16.
Yeah, that's a tough distance for a high school kicker, but 4th and 10 is a long way to go. At this point in the game, down this many points, I think the Eagles are just going for it. IMG was going to bring a blitz on that one, or at least they faked a blitz, and they were able to get the Eagles to jump.
They'll put the quarterback Hoover in the shotgun. 3 men go long. He's going towards that front pylon, and it is incomplete. 2 defenders in the area as he went long for Akeem Sledge. And the Ascenders will take over on downs.
Hoover underthrew that ball a little bit. It didn't come out of his hand clean. It might have been because of the weather, because it's wet out there, and it hung in the air for a long time. And 2 members of the Ascender secondary converged on that. It was a battle for the ball in the air. Nobody was able to bring it down, but the defense was in good position on that one.
So J.J. McCarthy and company take over, leading 35-8. We'll have trips right and 2 guys left, so 5 receivers on 1st and 10. They go screen left, and Brooks drops it. That's incomplete. So a different play than the screen they ran earlier, which was a screen to the right with a couple of blockers out there. But Brooks drops it. I'm sure the rain was a factor.
He might have started to take off to try to run before he actually had possession of the ball. You got to look it in, secure the catch first.
So 2nd and 10. McCarthy hands it off, and falling forward and taking a pretty big hit is Lavassier Carroll. Gain of about 4. It'll set up 3rd and medium.
The Eagles have been playing a defense these last couple downs that looks like man-to-man coverage with an 8 or a 9-man box to try to stop the run game. It's just daring the Ascenders to throw the football. It looks like they may be back in a zone now on 3rd and long.
McCarthy has all day looking to throw. Pressure coming now. Throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Taking a big lick on the play was number 8, Sean Miller, as the pocket finally broke down for McCarthy and was almost able to make a throw, but Miller was hit hard.
Yeah, McCarthy did a good job to scramble around to buy himself more time. He threw Miller a good ball, a catchable ball, and Miller wasn't able to reel it in as he got popped right as he was making contact with the football.
So a rare punt for IMG. And that is going to stay inbounds at the 43-yard line of the Life Christian Academy.
A little bit of a shank there off the side of the foot of the punter.
That was Gavin Gundaker. Better than the one punt we saw on the other side, which was blocked after a bad snap. So the Eagles will start on their own side of the field, but solid field position at their own 43-yard line. So after their first stop of the night, a chance to draw a score closer, down by 4 touchdowns at the moment.
The Eagles trying to figure out what they want to do on this one. The coaches are signaling in the play.
They set things up on the left hash. Couple of receivers left. I formation for Shane Hoover. Handoff up the middle. Turner with a burst of speed, and then he's tripped up. A solid gain on first down. Trayvon Howard on the tackle. Otherwise, Turner may have sprung that one. It's a gain of 4.
Turner ran straight downhill. The hole opened up right in front of him, and he was immediately into the second level.
Yeah, good play by Howard. There was nobody behind him in the secondary. The blitz comes. It goes to Turner, and he is met. Taken down by IMG. Nick James again gets into the backfield.
Nick James is having a very disruptive night. The Eagles haven't been able to block him thus far, and he keeps getting into the backfield and making plays.
It's a loss of 1. It sets up 3rd and 7. As we get one more look.
James is able to get inside of the tackle. Big number 75. He uses a rip move, gets right across the face of Deshaun Williams, penetrates and makes the play.
There's been a big force on defense for Coach Bobby Acosta. And timeout called just before the snap by Life Christian. That is their second timeout of the half as they want to talk this play over. And probably a good time to use a timeout there if you weren't confident in the alignment there. IMG's been sending some pressure on this drive and looked like they were ready to blitz again. And so now Life Christian will talk things over. Put your coaching hat on, Josh. What would you call here on 3rd and 7? We've gotten a pretty good feel for this Life Christian offense as this game's gone along. So what can you draw up here against a really tough defense?
Well, if they could get the edge, I would say they should run some type of a rollout, some type of a sprint out pass. If they could seal the edge and get Hoover outside, then he has kind of a run pass option, maybe a flood type concept in the pass game. I don't think going to the ground on this one is going to get you enough yardage. And unless you're willing to go on 4th down for it again, which I don't think is wise, I think they should roll out Hoover, seal the edge, and try to get a receiver just enough yardage to get the first down.
Clock is stopped at 6:19 in the second quarter as they set up this 3rd down play. We'll see if IMG sends pressure again. Looks like they've softened up the formation a little bit for some coverage. Hoover still under center. 2 receivers. Looks to throw, drops back. Nothing open, scrambles right, pressure coming. Lets it go, and it's incomplete. Almost intercepted as the defensive back was flying through the play. That was O.J. Burrows who had an opportunity for an interception as the pressure was bearing down on him.
O.J. Burrows had good coverage. The entire secondary had good coverage, but it was Malik Bryant coming off the edge. Bryant, who's already forced a fumble and recovered a fumble, puts the pressure on Hoover on that play. Hoover did all he could just to scramble and get rid of the ball and not take a sack or turn the ball over again.
Yeah, Bryant and James have been the standouts on defense so far for IMG, no question about it, as Life Christian looks to punt. Their only other punt tonight was blocked. Another iffy snap, but that one is away, and it's a good punt. A lot of hang time as it bounces at about the 20. That's going to roll inside the 15 all the way down to the 12. An excellent punt that time. And it sets up IMG with a long field to work with.
Well, at least the Eagles possessed the ball, got a first down, and then were able to get off a pretty good punt and change field position.
Yeah, under normal circumstances, that's not a bad result. If the game was closer, you get yourself to midfield, get a good punt off, and you back up the other team. You're playing field position. You're pretty happy with that. But obviously down 4 touchdowns, they need some scores. But plenty of real estate for J.J. McCarthy to work with.
What they really need is turnovers. And they obviously gave the ball away a couple of times in their first few possessions. And if they're really going to have a chance to climb back in this game, they're going to have to create turnovers themselves. IMG hasn't turned the ball over a lot this year, so that's a tall order.
Yeah, again, no interceptions through 4 games now for McCarthy. They have been rock solid, and you're right. That's the best way to get back into games quickly is get a pick, recover a fumble, block a kick maybe. As McCarthy starts in the gun, 4 receivers. They swing it right. Catch is made by Sean Miller and able to get close to the sticks as he picks up about 8 on the near side.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see IMG go back to that play. They continue to go to the short screens because they have a numbers advantage. The way that the Eagles keep lining up is basically man-to-man coverage. It's 2 guys over 2 guys out there. There's no linebacker outside on the edge. So those guys are out in space. One guy catches the ball and makes a move, and he's gone.
McCarthy turns on the Jets to the near sideline. You saw him hurdle the chair there, the pods where the bench players will hang out. That's a first down. He has a lot of speed.
Yeah, McCarthy doesn't keep the ball a lot, but when he does run, that you can tell he's very mobile and he's very capable.
Yeah, and depending on which type of college offense he ends up in next year at Michigan, that could be a real weapon. They don't need to use that here at the high school level, but I'm sure Coach Harbaugh will love his wheels at the next level. McCarthy airing it out. He's got Brooks deep. It's caught. Ja'Cory Brooks will take it to the house. McCarthy to Brooks for the touchdown.
Brooks beat Akeem Sledge on that play. He ran a post pattern. McCarthy had time, and he just set up and unleashed it. We got to see McCarthy's arm strength on display on that play. Brooks was wide open, but McCarthy threw a beautiful arcing spiral into this light rain that Brooks was able to run under and then finish up with the touchdown. Now we see a little dance from Brooks.
Yeah, when you give McCarthy that much time and Brooks is one-on-one, he is going to burn plenty of high school defensive backs, and he had all kinds of separation on that play. The extra point is up and good as IMG gets to 42 points here in the first half with 5 minutes to spare as we get another look at this beautiful throw.
McCarthy really has no pressure. So he's able to set up and really unleash the ball. And Brooks smoked Sledge on that play. He was several yards behind him. He was absolutely in the clear. McCarthy threw a beautiful post ball for the TD.
So the Michigan commit to the Alabama commit as the Ascenders get the touchdown back that they allowed moments ago as you look at the Wolverine-bound McCarthy. A little bit different climate-wise going from Bradenton, Florida to Ann Arbor, Michigan. But he's an Illinois guy, so he'll be used to the cold, and I'm sure he'll love the Big Ten tour the next few years. A little different than the Ivy League tour, though, right?
It's a tad different than the Ivy League. The weather's kind of similar, cool. That cloud rolls in about October, and you think it's just, it's a rainy day, and then it doesn't disappear for 6 months. That's the Northeast.
Yeah, I'm sitting next to an Ivy League grad. Look out, we've got a Yale man in the booth as we've got a flag on the kickoff. It's against IMG.
The IMG Ascender colors remind me a little bit of the Yale Bulldogs.
And how about the Crimson? You got maybe some Harvard colors on the other side?
Absolutely. Well, then I like this because Yale is giving it to Harvard right now if that was the case.
Yeah, and I love the comparison. Brooks, who's made a couple of big, huge plays in this game, headed to Alabama. He's going to be wearing that opposite uniform next year.
Alabama is getting a talented wide receiver in Brooks. He's shown speed. He's shown the ability to high point the ball, break away, break tackles. Great athlete.
Yeah, no question, one of the best wide receiver recruits in the nation. Well, not really a recruit anymore. He is committed. Here comes the return to the far side for Cotman, and he is tripped up as he got across the 20, which is where the Eagles will begin this drive.
Nice tackle on that play. Looked like it was number 30, Jason Everett.
So Hoover back to work for the Eagles. We'll see if that offensive line can hold steady. When they were running the ball consistently on a couple of drives, the offensive line, they were handling their assignments, but on that last possession, we saw the defensive line of IMG really wreak havoc and break up that drive. We'll see who wins out in the trenches this time around. 5:04 remaining in the first half. Rain continues here in Florida. It's a pitch to the left. Dabney cuts it to the outside and gets the corner, and right around the sticks he goes out of bounds. Might be a yard or so short, but he is shifty and has some breakaway speed as well.
Dabney is not big, but he is explosive and quick. And he seems to be the most dangerous player that the Eagles have right now with the ball in his hands. He catches the toss here, and he's got some good stock blocking going on, and he's able to bounce that back to the outside and then get the first down. Oh, second down and short.
Yeah, second and less than one. That was Jameel Anderson on the outside laying the block. Dabney able to avoid the first hit and goes down right at the first down marker at the 30-yard line. I think he's going to be short again. So 3rd and inches coming up for Life Christian.
Now, this is a good down in this situation. It takes a little bit of guts to do this, but to run a play-action fake and try to hit a big play. You've got a 3rd and short. You've been running the ball a lot, and the chances are that the Ascenders are going to expect you to run the ball and try to get the first down.
4 receivers set on 3rd and less than 1. Ascenders show blitz. And then back off. Throw to the right is incomplete.
It was a good idea, just not well executed.
Too high for Deontay Hill, the intended receiver, and too short for the receiver behind him, Cotman. So it sets up 4th down, and we'll see what the Eagles do.
I think the Eagles are going to go for it.
Yeah, 4th and 1. They'll give it a shot.
They've made a 4th and 1 earlier in the game.
Under center now. Handoff. Turner. Plenty of space to fall forward and pick up about 7.
Kamari Wilson, safety Kamari Wilson, came up and filled that hole. It was him and Turner one-on-one. He made a beautiful form tackle, but Turner had a head of steam. The hole was opened up, and he was able to get enough for the first down.
So first down for Life Christian as the clock ticks under 4 minutes to play in the half. Oh, the snap is fumbled, and the quarterback Hoover able to fall on it. It'll be a loss of 2 or 3 on what I believe was a passing play because the receivers were going deep. But the rain is definitely an issue for both teams tonight. It has been very, very consistent.
Life Christian Academy has had more problems with the wet conditions than the Ascenders have thus far, with all the turnovers.
Give some credit to the folks in the stands. A lot of umbrellas up there, but they have turned out. And a big shout out to our camera crew up top, too, dealing with the elements tonight. Handoff up the middle. That's Turner. Not much there. maybe gets one. It'll be 3rd and long.
This is the biggest crowd I've seen yet in an IMG home game. Might be the combination of Eagles fans traveling well. Also, it's senior night for the IMG Ascenders, so I know a lot of the parents are in the house.
Yeah, they had a lot of families on the field before the game. Some nice video tributes from the Ascenders players as well. And they've spread out the best they can up in those metal bleachers. Powering through the elements tonight. 3rd and 12 for Life Christian. Hoover back to pass over the middle and incomplete. The defender was draped all over Deontay Hill, but I don't think that pass was catchable at all.
No, Hoover hasn't been super accurate in his drop back passing tonight. And that ball was well over the head of Hill.
Yeah, he's made the right decisions, just hasn't made any accurate throws, like you said. I mean, that was the receiver who was open, but he missed him. So they'll look to punt. Jameel Anderson is ready to send it away.
Punting it to the ever dangerous Ja'Cory Brooks.
It's a shorter punt, so Brooks will not be able to return it. It takes an Ascender bounce, and it's going to be down at the 37, which is where McCarthy will set up shop with 2:02 to go in the half.
2:02 is plenty of time for McCarthy.
Yeah, they've been scoring in more like 2 seconds in this game. They had 2 touchdowns on the first minute of this game.
It looks like they've got 2 timeouts to work with.
Yep, and 1 left for Life Christian. 63 yards to go to the end zone. And we saw on the last offensive play for IMG that they are capable of scoring fast. 4 receivers. Over the middle, and a great catch is made by Ari Allen. Allen to the ground, reaching forward to reel it in.
McCarthy threw a beautiful in-cut to Allen. It was high, and Allen went up and pulled it down. He had to double catch it there, but he went up and brought that one down. That was a nice play by Allen.
McCarthy working quickly over the middle, and this time Allen drops it. A much easier catch, but right off the shoulder pads. Allen had a similar drop earlier in the end zone as we get a replay here.
McCarthy had plenty of time. Throws that in-cut route between the safeties, and Allen goes up and brings it down.
It's hard to get vertical when you're running down the seam like that, and was able to reach up with 2 hands, juggle it, and come down with it. McCarthy swings it left into the open field, and a great tackle made. Lavassier Carroll had nowhere to go with it.
Rodney Roan tackles Lavassier Carroll on that one for almost no gain.
It sets up 3rd down now. Clock ticking under 1:20, and again, 2 timeouts for the Ascenders. This is McLean split out wide to the right. They put Brooks in motion. McCarthy, time to throw. A flag is thrown. Still waiting. McCarthy still scrambling. Dumps it off in the flat. He's got his man. And that's Carroll, who is wrestled down by the ankles inside the 25, but I think it's coming back, and it is. They've called holding against IMG.
McCarthy did a ton to keep that play alive. Scrambled all over the place, showed great footwork, and then was able to dump the ball down to Carroll, but it all goes for naught with the holding penalty.
So they'll bring it back. It'll be 3rd and very long now for the Ascenders. If there's any quarterback in the country that can drop back with 4 receivers streaking down the field and buy time and make a deep throw, it's probably McCarthy.
McCarthy has plenty of arm to do it.
On what is about 3rd and 24. Trips right. A back to block. They set up a screen pass, and it's caught. This is Carroll towards the far sideline. Knocked out of bounds. There's a flag. So instead of 4th and about 13, we'll check on the penalty. It came right around where the tackle was made.
Might be a personal foul.
It looks like it's going to be on the Eagles, but the officials continue to discuss it. Clock is stopped at 35.9 seconds. And it's going to be on the offense. So it's another holding. They're going to back them up even more.
McCarthy bought himself some time, faded back as he was going to drop that screen off to Carroll. I didn't see the hold.
No, I didn't see any hold there, but maybe not in our shot. There's the two linemen out there blocking.
Yeah, it might have been downfield. I saw number 74, Greg Crippen, downfield for the Ascenders.
So because the penalty was downfield, they actually gain, or it was declined. Penalty was declined, so it sets up 4th and 13. And they're going to run the clock. Although it hasn't ran on the scoreboard, McCarthy fires it out to the right. McLean has a lot of work to do, and he's not going to get it done. Gains about 4, but it's going to be a turnover on downs, and Life Christian will take over.
No, Life Christian was able to hold before the end of the half. It's big for them to get a stop there in that situation. They get the ball back with 28 seconds and 1 timeout. See if they try to go downfield. They have had very little success in the passing game tonight.
You see McCarthy and his coach having some fun on the sidelines. With 28 seconds, not sure what the Eagles have in the playbook for this situation. They've got 65 yards to gain. So I'll probably just run a couple plays and see if they can break something as they direct Cotman out to the left side of the formation. We're going to split out 5 receivers, so we'll see if Hoover can get off the schneid. Drops the back to pass, and he is swallowed up.
Absolutely no time.
The sack is made.
Marlon Dean on the sack for the Ascenders. He popped right through there. I don't even think he was touched.
No, it was Dean who made the sack, and there were a couple other guys there to clean it up if he didn't. And so 2nd and very long as the clock ticks under 10 seconds. A little surprised the Eagles aren't just taking it to the half, but they'll run one more play if they can get it off in time, and they can't. So the whistle sounds, and that's halftime. All Ascenders here in Game 4 this season. They have broken 40 points for the 4th consecutive week, and they are in control against the opposition from the state of Virginia today. It's 42-8 at the half. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. You're watching IMG Football live from Bradenton, Florida.
IMG Plus online camps take the world-renowned coaching and training methodology that helps create high-performing athletes here on site in Bradenton, Florida, and makes it accessible online, allowing for athletes to the ease and convenience of training without having to travel. While most online training platforms feature only pre-recorded instruction, IMG Academy Plus camps deliver daily live video sessions and interactions with IMG coaches and personalized analysis of your game. So not only do we provide a proven training plan, we evaluate and provide feedback on your progress so you know what to do and how to continue improving. So first you have to select the week that you would choose to partake in the activity. On Monday, you'll have a live video call with your coach that will give you instruction and explanation for the week's curriculum. Next, you'll receive access to your plan for the week. Now, this is going to be specific training that is tied to sports development as well as your APD curriculum. APD will include performance training in areas like movement, mental training, and athletic regeneration. Throughout the week, you're going to record yourself or have someone record your actions. You'll submit those videos to your coach for full analysis, and then they will be returned each day. The process will continue Monday through Friday, and at the end of the week, you'll have a full training experience that touches on all of the different aspects in that sport and all levels of development. So the coaches that are going to be working with our virtual campers are going to be the same coaches that work with our student athletes, with our campers, and with our pros that train here on site year-round. They're going to use some of the same methodology that has helped IMG Academy student athletes become some of the world's top athletes.
Run.
We're going to talk a little bit about wall training.
Let's go.
We're going to go 3 different types of lunges.
Just keep that back flat. Today we're going to take you through a full body workout. So let's go.
There's a fog out there, and it's calling you by name. It wants to wrap its whole self around you, make you forget who you are. But you won't forget. You've got to find your way through that fog, through the unknown. There's only one way.
Do you really think the greatest of all time just came from nowhere? Of course not. Because everyone starts somewhere, and champions start here. Grown rep by rep, conditioned by pro-level coaches who have earned their stripes. Built in elite camps, training day after day. Drilled until second nature becomes first. Start at IMG Academy.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
This is your game. You live it, breathe it, dream it. And so do we. We design it, test it, build it, and repeat. This is what you live for. Zenith. Live your game.
The academic programs at IMG Academy are designed to be complementary to our athletic programs, but our goal is to be admitted and successful at the nation's most select institutions. The competition that's out on the field or on the court turns over into the classroom where students are looking to push themselves. Each year, we generally feature National Merit Scholars, AP Scholars, the Service Academies, the Ivy Leagues, elite academic D3 institutions, and everywhere in between. Ultimately, we want to provide the best fit for each of our student athletes. The academic program has 3 tracks. First and foremost is our college preparatory track. Then we have a full honors track beginning in 8th grade. And then lastly, we have AP courses for our most academically competitive students. Over the last few years, the academic program has grown both in its physical size, as we recently added 30,000 square feet for an increased number of classrooms, a dedicated English as a second language space, 2 hands-on engineering labs, as well as a broadcast TV studio space. We've increased the overall number of faculty to help keep our class sizes down, as well as add depth and breadth to the curriculum by adding new courses each year. At IMG Academy, our goal is to provide the skills and the knowledge to help our student athletes prepare for success at their chosen college or university.
IMG Plus online camps take the world-renowned coaching and training methodology that helps create high-performing athletes here on site in Bradenton, Florida, and makes it accessible online, allowing for athletes to the ease and convenience of training without having to travel. While most online training platforms feature only pre-recorded instruction, IMG Academy Plus camps deliver daily live video sessions and interactions with IMG coaches and personalized analysis of your game. So not only do we provide a proven training plan, we evaluate and provide feedback on your progress so you know what to do and how to continue improving. So first you have to select the week that you would choose to partake in the activity. On Monday, you'll have a live video call with your coach that will give you instruction and explanation for the week's curriculum. Next, you'll receive access to your plan for the week. Now, this is going to be specific training that is tied to sports development as well as your APD curriculum. APD will include performance training in areas like movement, mental training, and athletic regeneration. Throughout the week, you're going to record yourself or have someone record your actions. You'll submit those videos to your coach for full analysis, and then they will be returned each day. The process will continue Monday through Friday, and at the end of the week, you'll have a full training experience that touches on all of the different aspects in that sport and all levels of development. So the coaches that are going to be working with our virtual campers are going to be the same coaches that work with our student athletes, with our campers, and with our pros that train here on site year-round. They're going to use some of the same methodology that has helped IMG Academy student athletes become some of the world's top athletes.
Run.
We're going to talk a little bit about wall training.
Let's go.
We're going to go 3 different types of lunges.
Just keep that back flat. Today we're going to take it through a full body workout. So let's go.
fog out there, and it's calling you by name. It wants to wrap its whole self around you, make you forget who you are. But you won't forget. You've got to find your way through that fog, through the unknown. There's only one way.
Do you really think the greatest of all time just came from nowhere? Of course not. Because everyone starts somewhere, and champions start here. Grown rep by rep, conditioned by pro-level coaches who have earned their stripes. Built in elite camps, training day after day. Drilled until second nature becomes first. Start at IMG Academy.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
This is your game. You live it, breathe it, dream it. And so do we. We design it, test it, build it, and repeat. This is what you live for. Zenith. Live your game.
We welcome you back to the IMG Academy here in Bradenton, Florida, as we look at some of the first half highlights. Ja'Cory Brooks set the tone, taking this screen pass to the end zone for a long touchdown on the first play from scrimmage for the Ascenders. And then after a turnover on the next drive, it was a naked bootleg for J.J. McCarthy, who walked into the end zone to make it 14-0 Ascenders. And then the defense got involved in what was a pretty lopsided first half, Josh.
Yeah, the turnovers really hurt the Eagles early in the game. They had a couple of turnovers that set the Ascenders up for very short fields, and they punched it in on both of those drives to take a commanding 21-0 lead. The Eagles were able to get back into it with a score and a 2-point conversion there before the end of the first quarter, but then the Ascenders just continued to pour it on. Lavassier Carroll there weaving his way through the defense for a touchdown. Here's the one lone Eagle score from Turner that he had a powerful run. He had a good night so far, a good half running the football. They've blocked well, but they just really haven't done anything in the passing game. And then the Eagles defense has not been able to stop the Ascenders at all.
And that might have been our favorite play of the half right there, because you've got your quarterback blocking 50 yards downfield as McCarthy ushers Allen into the end zone. Katron Allen, Lavassier Carroll, I may be wrong, we don't have official stats. I believe combined they've got 3 carries and 3 touchdowns. And then the rest of the night has been J.J. McCarthy offensively. As you see, the defensive star so far, Nick James, has been in the backfield often for IMG, making the play again right here. He's been a beast up front along with a couple of others. We've seen the linebacker number 5, Malik Bryant, get in there, cause a fumble, recover a fumble. So it's been a complete performance for the Ascenders tonight.
Yeah, Malik Bryant early in that first half was responsible for most of the big plays for the Ascenders, with that fumble caused and then that fumble recovery on which he almost scored. Malik Bryant also has another sack at this game, keeping his average alive. He's averaging 1.2 sacks a game through the first 3.
So Gavin Marshall kicks it off for IMG with a comfortable 42-8 lead, and that is a bomb of a kickoff into the end zone for a touchback. Marshall's been perfect on extra points tonight, and he booms that kickoff into the end zone as Life Christian will start on their own 20-yard line.
So Life Christian comes out to take the ball here at the beginning in the second half, and if they're going to mount anything, if they're going to make this a game, they've got to get points on the board. I think they need to get their passing game moving. They've got to have some effectiveness. They cannot be one-dimensional against an IMG defense that is this talented.
Yeah, you'd like to see them bounce back from a tough first half. I mean, they gave up 2 touchdowns in a blink. They had the 2 turnovers on their first 2 possessions. IMG was up 2 scores after 1 minute. They were up 3 scores pretty early in the first quarter. We saw 5 touchdowns in the first quarter, actually 6 touchdowns in the first quarter, 5 for IMG. And then it was a much more evenly played second quarter, and we hope to see some more of that here in the second half and see if Life Christian can mount some sort of a comeback. And we've got the first play of the half blown dead, and it's going to be motion on the offense. So not quite as costly as a turnover, but they're, again, moving backwards to start a half on offense.
One thing I've seen from all of IMG Academy's opponents, and this is for every team, this is the varsity team, this is the postgraduate team, everybody that comes in here seems to make a whole lot of mistakes, a lot of self-inflicted wounds, penalties, turnovers, mistakes. IMG seems to do very little of that, which just goes to show what great coaching they have and discipline.
Hoover over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Looking for DeAndre Martin on that slant route, and a late flag coming in from the official well down the field. Maybe a late hit on that collision over the middle as the pass was inaccurate from Hoover.
Looked like Terrell Foster for IMG was on the coverage, broke that pass up, but we've got a penalty here. Not sure if it's on Foster or not.
And I believe it is going to be a personal foul on IMG, which will give Life Christian a first down.
Well, Life Christian will take anything they can at this point that's positive.
They handed the ball off quite a bit to both Turner and Dabney in the first half. We'll see if they stick with that game plan. Hoover has not had much luck throwing the football. He drops back here, swings it to Dabney in the flat. We'll get a few yards, and then he's hit hard along the sideline.
That was a big hit from Daylon Everett.
Yeah, Everett.
He came up and laid the wood on Michael Dabney. Now, I would say that Dabney is the most explosive player that we've seen that the Eagles have. They've got to figure out ways to get him the ball in space, which they tried to do on that play. But Everett closed it down in a hurry.
Yeah, well, when you don't have the deep threat, Hoover has not shown the ability to throw the ball to the second level. So you can bet the defense is going to be keyed in on number 1, and they were on that play, even though it was designed well. Hoover in the gun, play fake, looking right, and that pass is intercepted. Taken away easily. This is Marcavius Brown all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, IMG. Marcavius Brown with the pick 6.
Yeah, we've talked about Hoover tonight and not really being able to put any pressure on the IMG defense by throwing the ball down the field. Obviously, the Eagles could see that as well, so they try to take a shot, but Hoover underthrew the ball. It was well underthrown. It hung in the air for a long time, and Marcavius Brown was able to get the INT, but not just that. As soon as he got his hands on the ball, he turned into an offensive player himself and was able to take it all the way back in for the score.
Think these guys are having some fun?
They're having a blast right now. This is a party in IMG Ascender Stadium.
The extra point again is good, and it's 49-8. That pick 6 was about as easy as they come for the Ascenders. Marcavius Brown had a cavalcade down the sideline as we get another glance.
Hoover had enough time to throw, but again, the way that ball came out of his hand, and I don't want to make excuses for the weather, but it is probably a wet ball, and it looks like it slipped out of his hand because it immediately popped up and fluttered, and then Brown was able to take it. He knew exactly what to do with it, and he takes it all the way to the house. It is a party for the IMG defense. They are having a blast out there.
Yeah, he led that celebration all the way towards the near fence past the track and field portion of his stadium. Obviously, they don't have to be out there for the extra point, so a big celebration for that IMG defense. We'll be right back out on the field for the next play from scrimmage. But that's the third turnover, the fourth if you count the block punt, committed by Life Christian, and against a team with the amount of talent that IMG had, you just can't survive that.
No, you can't come in and play IMG and expect to win if you're turning the football over. You need to play nearly flawless football because that's what IMG does. Not only have they been mistake-free, but they've got superior talent.
Kickoff takes Kottman into the end zone. That's going to be a touchback. No chance to return that one. And the game plan, and there's very few game plans that work against IMG, but the game plan has to be to play disciplined football. No turnovers, no penalties, and just grind it out play after play and keep yourself in the ball game late and then hope that you hit on some big plays late to stun this opponent. But when you come out and you turn the ball over 3 times in the first quarter, you're not just playing catch-up. You're pretty much done at that point. They've done a good job at times. We've seen a couple of sustained drives from Life Christian, but aside from that, this has been a one-sided ball game as they take over on their own 20-yard line here. Hoover in the gun, and it's a fumble. They didn't even get the ball to their quarterback, and that is going to be another turnover. Fumble recovered by the Ascenders, and they'll take over inside the Life Christian 25-yard line.
Yeah, I talked about an avalanche in the first half, and I think that this might be the straw that breaks the Eagles' back at this point. That was just a poor snap. The ball was bouncing around on the ground. I don't even know if Hoover was ready for the ball to be snapped, but it never got back to him, and another turnover.
I mean, I wonder if the center snapped it off his own leg because it never even appeared on that side of the formation where the quarterback Hoover was as McCarthy takes over at the Life Christian 21-yard line. Drops back, throws right. The catch is made. And dragging down to the 6-yard line is Lavassier Carroll, who was split out wide there. The running back makes the play, and it's 1st and goal.
Carroll shows his dual threat. Not only is he a threat to break a handoff for a 75, 80-yard touchdown every time he touches the ball, but he has good hands coming out of the backfield as well.
Yeah, that's his 4th reception this year. The running back can do it all. As they set up at the 7-yard line. McCarthy in the gun, 3 receivers to the left. Malik McLean by himself on the right. McCarthy keeps. He heads left, splitting the defense, and he is taken down short, tripped up at the 1-yard line as the Ascenders are knocking on the door once more.
Yeah, McCarthy fakes that read handoff to Lavassier. Carroll breaks to the outside. The Eagles defense was able to close in just in time to prevent him from crossing, from breaking the plane of that end zone.
Hands it off up the middle, and great defense there from Life Christian. Able to stuff Carroll and might have even lost a yard.
It's good to see Life Christian bow up here near the goal line and attempt to make a goal line stand. Even if the Ascenders are able to punch it in, it's good to see that the Eagles are still playing hard.
There's a pitch up the middle. They swing it to the outside. There's a flag on the play as the touchdown counts for Ari Allen at the moment. We'll see what the flag is for.
So Allen came across in motion on a fly sweep action, and J.J. McCarthy shovels him a pass, and it was a foot race for Allen, and he was able to get into the end zone. We'll see if the penalty is against, and it is, the penalty is against the Ascenders, so he may have gotten that edge because of a hold.
So they'll back him up and they'll replay 3rd down. So it's 3rd and goal from the 12-yard line. A much taller task after Allen was able to get in. Clock ticking now to 5 minutes in the 3rd quarter. They send McLean in motion. McCarthy back to pass. Plenty of time. Rolls right, flips it to Carroll, and it's incomplete. Defensively, Gene Townsell was there to disrupt the play, and it's 4th down, so we may see a field goal attempt. McCarthy is limping a little bit, Josh. I'm not sure where he might have went wrong. Maybe he slipped on the turf because I didn't see much contact. He did run the ball a couple of plays ago. That's certainly something to monitor. I don't think there's any need for them to keep him in the ball game much longer as the field goal attempt is coming here for Gavin Marshall.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on McCarthy here on the sideline, see what's going on with him.
The short field goal is up and good. So 3 points for the Ascenders, about a 29-yard field goal. And they've tacked on 3 to make it 52-8.
Yeah, McCarthy didn't look to face a lot of contact on the play that he came up lame after. So, like you said, it was potentially the play before when he rushed the ball himself. Maybe something happened. We'll keep you abreast of what happens and if he comes back in this game and how he looks like he's doing. The trainer is checking him out right now. But the Ascenders are able to extend their lead, knock that field goal through the uprights. You know, I know that the Eagles, I talked to their coaches before the game, and they came in here tonight with the plan to run the football. They wanted to run the football. They wanted to establish the run game. They wanted to dominate on the ground. Unfortunately, the Ascenders got the ball first on their first play from scrimmage. Huge touchdown, 80-yard touchdown run. The next 2 times the Eagles get their hands on the ball, turnover. Now you're down 21 points. They tried to run the football then, but it was the momentum of trying to run the football when you're down by 3 scores. It's hard, and then they really haven't had any success in the passing game tonight. They haven't been able to set up play action with any success.
Yeah, it's been a tough night no matter how you look at it for Life Christian, as that one is off the helmet of the return man Cotman. They recover, and on a broken play, he's able to break it. Couple of Ascenders tripping him up, but not before the return man gets across the 30 all the way to the 35-yard line.
Trayshawn Mason bails out Cotman there. Cotman tried to field it. It hit him right in the head, bounced up in the air, but a nice athletic play by Trayshawn Mason to be able to get a hold of that and make such a big play out of it. A lot of times when a ball gets bounced around or laid on the ground, the coverage team on a special team will change their angle. They see the ball on the ground, so they change their angle, and then they have a breakdown, and that's exactly what happened, and Mason was able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, guys get out of their lanes, and the play goes haywire. 1st and 10 from the 35, play action, pass to the flat is incomplete, but it's a fumble because that was a backward pass, and it's going to go out of bounds. That'll be a large loss for the Eagles. More than a 10-yard loss on that swing route that was not to be.
They were trying to get an easy completion, something positive in the passing game. They had Turner swing out, and it was a backward pass by Hoover, and it wasn't well thrown. And then once it was headed backwards, that is basically a fumble. That's a live ball, and it was bouncing around, and Turner just tried to block the Ascenders to keep them from recovering it so it could roll out of bounds.
Jack Wosh, the backup quarterback, is loosening on the IMG sideline, so we'll expect to see him in the game shortly. 2nd and very long for the boys from Virginia. Handoff up the middle, some space for Turner to work with. Picks up a nice chunk there on 2nd and 20 yards plus. It sets up 3rd and about 14. I'll expect the Ascenders to work in some of the backups here. Of course, the backups on this team are starters just about anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to make some substitutions. Might get to call out some new names here for the Ascenders. They're in a deep zone here on 3rd and 14 plus.
Oh, and Dabney is lit up over the middle. A huge hit.
Xavion Sori with the explosive hit on Dabney. Dabney, I feel bad for Dabney on that one. Just as the ball was making contact with his hands, he could barely get his head around before Xavion Sori blew him up.
Yeah, that's the other number 6. We've seen Carroll run the ball on offense. Got some double numbers. This one hurt.
And a perfectly legal hit, well-timed hit. Sori was able to get his shoulder pads down and get underneath Dabney, not making helmet-to-helmet contact.
That was a perfect form tackle from Sori. Oh, and changing directions now on the punt return. Oh, and that's not going to help. That was Marcavius Brown who returned the interception for a touchdown earlier in this half. Going backwards on the punt and return, trying to shake some white jerseys.
Well, you know, sometimes guys get an opportunity to get their hands on the ball. Now, we've already seen Marcavius Brown return an interception for a touchdown tonight, but most of the return duties tonight have been Ja'Cory Brooks. So Marcavius Brown is back there to field his first punt return. And, you know, you get your hands on the ball. Sometimes you want to force something. You want to make something happen. And he was dancing, reversing field, doing everything he could to try to break loose.
And with that play, it brings us to the end of the third quarter. We will take a break. You're watching IMG football.
Run.
We're going to talk a little bit about wall training.
Let's go.
We're going to go 3 different types of lunges.
Just keep that back flat. Today we're going to take it through a full body workout. So let's go.
IMG Academy is easily one of the most unique places in the country.
All right, let's go. Let's get to work.
Every college, every university, every major program in the country comes to IMG to recruit these kids.
LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia's, they're going to come knocking on our door because our kids are ready to play right away, ready to compete.
If you can prove yourself at IMG, you can go on to the next level and be successful.
You're here for a reason, and this place is filled with the best.
You know, as an athlete, they want to get better every day. And these kids come here because of the competition and be the best that they can be.
What I want here is the family culture. The brotherhood is coming closer.
John Vitas and Josh Phillips coming to you live from Bradenton tonight as the Ascenders go back on offense to start the final quarter. Jack Wosh, the backup quarterback, is in for IMG, so J.J. McCarthy done for the day. Did end the day with a bit of a limp coming to the sideline after the final possession of the night for the Ascenders. And there you see McCarthy on the sideline. Seems to be okay. Didn't look like anything significant, but was a little bit hobbled coming off the field there at the end of the third quarter. So
He's got some ice on his ankle there, I believe. Hopefully that's just something mild. He'll be back. He had a great night tonight. Now we get to see Jack Wosh. Katron Allen has had the last couple of carries. He's pushed ahead, got them to a third and medium here.
Yeah, Katron has averaged 11 carries per game before tonight. That's only his third or fourth of the evening. They really haven't needed him. They've had Carroll out there in those spread formations, and they haven't really run the ball much. Wosh looking to throw. Now scrambling towards his left, lets it rip, and it's dropped.
Wosh showed some ability on that play, and he threw a nice ball there. Unfortunately, not able to reel it in was number 19, Weston Adams.
And so the Ascenders will have to punt for the second time tonight. Gavin Gundaker back out there.
Gavin Gundaker doesn't get a ton of work at punter for the IMG offense.
The lefty kick is up and bouncing at the 45. It'll go out of bounds. A punt of only 23 yards. And Life Christian will get it with good field position. This is one of those games, Josh, that came pretty easily tonight for IMG. They'll have some tougher tests as the season goes along. 4 games left. Just one road game, though, for this national team. They'll be in Texas next week to take on Duncanville. That's an 8 o'clock start Eastern time. And then 3 more home games to finish out the schedule. But fortunate to get those 8 games in a few months ago. It certainly was far from a sure thing that this season would happen. So, again, we mentioned it at the very beginning of the broadcast, but The folks here in Bradenton deserve a ton of credit for making this season happen, and the same goes for all the schools around the state and around the country that have been able to put together a high school football season because they don't have the resources that the NFL does. So to be able to pull this off is awesome, and to be able to be up here calling this game is a nice change of pace for us with sports being gone for so long. Life Christian back to work. This is Dabney after being hit hard on the previous possession. He's able to spring one for a gain of 12, moving the sticks for Life Christian and getting him into a positive territory.
Yeah, Dabney just piercing through the Ascender defense on that snap. Dabney has shown speed. He's shown flashes tonight. He just has not been able to get enough carries or get enough opportunities in open space, and that Ascender defense has really rallied to the ball, gang tackling. They're full of athletes themselves.
Oh, and Turner has space, and he's able to pick up a first down. So again, some of the second teamers on IMG's defense, Life Christian has some momentum, back-to-back running plays of 10 yards or more.
You know, Life Christian wants to finish this game on a high note. They've got 8 minutes and 20 seconds left to do something. When you fly back or take the bus back all the way up to Virginia, you want to have something positive to build on.
Dabney trying the right side there, picks up 4. Last year's final score was 43-16. So they've got a chance to get close to that 16-point total if they go for 2 here.
They're using a two-back backfield now with their 2 main threats, Dabney and Turner, in the backfield at the same time, where we really haven't seen that tonight until this possession.
There's a swing pass to Turner, who's able to handle it and get the corner. Pushing forward inside the 20-yard line, taking on tacklers and picking up a Life Academy first down.
Yeah, this particular backfield set with these 2 threats in the backfield at the same time seems to be benefiting the Eagles right now. Maybe it's something they will look back on and say, hey, we should have gone to this earlier.
You see Turner breaking left there with all kinds of space. This is a handoff to Dabney, shifting left and picking up a few.
So this backfield set forces the Ascenders to have to respect both backs potentially carrying the ball, which what the Eagles have been doing to this point is they had their big fullback, Drayshawn Taylor, blocking for either Dabney or Turner. Now the Ascenders have to respect both running backs, and it seems to be working, at least on this drive.
That's Trayshawn Mason on the carry that time, and he's able to pick up another first down for the Eagles. So 1st and goal now. They are really moving the ball on this drive and doing so quickly. 1st and goal from the 9. Dabney in motion. And there's a fumble, and it's being taken the other way. The big fella rumbling across midfield gives a stiff arm. And finally brought down by Dabney inside the 35-yard line. That was Marlon Dean running the length of the field.
Big Marlon Dean rumbling. He picks up that football. He was trying to take it all the way to the house. Now, we knew that Dabney had the speed to run him down. Well, so did Dean, and he kept trying to stiff arm Dabney repeatedly. Dabney refused to be denied. He wouldn't go down, and he was able to grab a hold of Dean and drag him to the ground before he could score. But that was a huge play for Dean. We've got just a mishandle there. It looks like Hoover tried to keep the ball on that read option play. Dean picks it up, and again, we've got the battle between Dabney and Dean, but I'm impressed by Dabney at this point not to give up on that play down this. But he could have let Dean just carry that onto the end zone and sulked, and he didn't, which shows something about his character. But also we get to see Dean's athleticism on that play.
Yeah, that is a 56-yard fumble return for a defensive lineman. Heck of a play by Marlon Dean. That'll be on his highlight reel for sure. But another turnover. I think that's 5 tonight now from Life Christian. We're losing count at this point, and that's a costly one because they were obviously in the red zone, knocking on the doorstep, and instead Dean makes a great play and sets up Wotion Company with short field.
So for all of the IMG Academy opponents for the national team for the rest of the year, you guys know this already. You guys are smart coaches. You're great coaches, but you cannot come into game and turn the ball over and hope to beat this team. And when turnovers like that happen, it just makes it too easy for the Ascenders to finish it off.
Handoff right to Xavier Terrell, who picks up a couple. But you're absolutely right. I mean, those self-inflicted wounds are the end of you when you play IMG. 2, if not 3 of the 5 turnovers were completely unforced.
Yeah, and as talented as IMG is, if you're going to play head-to-head with them, you have to play nearly mistake-free football.
Woosh hands it off again. Again, this is Terrell. Falling forward across the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 3.
Xavier Terrell is an explosive back. He doesn't get to carry the ball as much as Lavassier Carroll or Katron Allen, but every time he does get his hands on the ball, he is shown to be not just a capable back, but another explosive back. The IMG Ascenders have a stable of backs here to give the ball to, including, and we're not even going to see him tonight, Stacy Gage, a 14-year-old freshman who ran for 9 touchdowns over a course of a couple of games. So they're loaded with talent.
Terrell bursts inside the 10-yard line before getting tripped up. He's only a sophomore, so the youngest of the 3-headed monster in the backfield for this IMG national team. He picks up a nice chunk there, but it looks like they're bringing it back. And there's a holding call against IMG, so that a long run from Xavier Terrell will not count, and instead it'll be 3rd and long.
3rd and long in this situation might actually give Jack Wosh, an opportunity to try something in the passing game again.
3rd and 11 here for the Ascenders. Probably 4-down territory for receivers. And the draw is fumbled. Terrell trying to wrestle it away from the linebacker that got in there. And I think he did jump on it. So the diminutive sophomore running back able to wrestle it away from a larger player and maintain possession for IMG. But now it's 4th and very long. And they may look to punt instead of going for this. And we do have an injury on the field.
It may be Terrell. He might have been injured in the attempt to recover that football. That was reversal of fortune there. On the last possession, the Eagles turned the ball over on a read option play. Well, that was a similar play. It looked like a draw, and there was just a little bit of a problem between Wosh and Terrell on the exchange, and the ball hit the ground. Tyreek Tucker had a chance to recover it for the Eagles, but it looks like the Ascenders retained possession.
But potentially punt time for IMG, but more importantly, working on the injured player. I thought Terrell had gotten up from that play, but I don't see him on the sideline at the moment, so I'll have to let you know who that is being attended to by the outstanding training staff here at IMG. And I know you had some time to work in strength and conditioning in college, or with college football as well as the pro level. For these young players who are growing into their bodies, obviously these players are very mature, both mentally, a lot of them moving away from home, and then physically trying to get Division I scholarships. A lot of them obviously have them. What would be some of your recommendations on working out and getting yourself ready potentially for college football?
Well, I know IMG has some of the best strength and conditioning staff in the country. Their facilities are second to none. I'm looking over at their performance center. It's beautiful. So these athletes have every opportunity to make their bodies as college ready as possible. And I would say listen to your coaches and work hard. You've got 7 days. Everybody has the same amount of time, right? We got 7 days in a week. We got 24 hours in a day. What are you going to do with it? And how dedicated are you going to be? And there's a lot I've seen in my career. There are a lot of guys that have superior talent that don't go as far as other guys because they're not willing to work as hard. It's not what you're given naturally. It's what you do with what you're given. Oh, this is unfortunate. It looks like Terrell is not able to put any weight on that leg. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, and those scrums are awfully dangerous. We mentioned going up against a larger player to try and recover the fumble, and he did recover the fumble, but you can see him being helped off and not able to put any weight on that right leg. And that talented training staff is going to certainly take good care of Xavier Terrell, but we wish him well and hopefully a speedy recovery and nothing too serious, but he definitely appears to be in some pain. Wosh looking to throw for the first time tonight. Pressure coming from the far side, and he is ripped to the ground by Rodney Roan. A sack for Life Christian.
Yeah, Wosh was looking for something deep down the field. He was trying to wait for those routes to develop to get past the sticks, and he just did not have enough time. Roan was right there.
Yeah, Roan came flying around the edge.
And it's almost a delayed blitz from Roan. He sees that Wosh is going back to pass, and he comes off the edge, and he has a ton of speed to be able to run him down. Rodney Roan is leading the Eagles in sacks as well. He's been averaging 2 sacks a game, so he continues to add to that stat.
Well, you could see why right there. Plenty of speed off the edge, and now Life Christian set up with good field position, beginning the drive at their own 46-yard line. And a whistle before the play. It might be an illegal formation. And it's actually against IMG, so make it 1st and 5. We've got a running clock with a large margin on the scoreboard, so that will speed things up here. We've had that for a little while now. That'll help avoid some further injuries. Unfortunately, we did have that one a moment ago, and Terrell is getting looked at on the sideline. Here's a pass over the middle. Another flag comes flying in as Dabney picks up the first down. We'll see if it counts. But those chairs have become hurdles at this point. They're there for social distancing purposes. But when guys come flying towards the sideline, a lot of times they're simply hurdles. And they're going to pick up that flag. They changed the call, so the play will count, and it'll be a first down for the Eagles.
I've said all night that Dabney looks to be the most explosive player that the Eagles have. Getting him the ball in space is something that I'm sure this coaching staff for Life Christian Academy is going to ponder after this one. Getting him more and more opportunities is only going to be a good thing for Life Christian Academy.
Hoover looking to throw, pressure coming, steps through it, gets to that far sideline now, still looking, nothing down the field, and he will be shouldered out of bounds after picking up about 5 yards.
That was great coverage by the Ascender secondary. There really wasn't anything there. Both the receivers ran curls, which is basically they run down to a certain distance and they turn around and they're supposed to come back to the quarterback, but they were both locked down. The coverage was excellent in the secondary, so Hoover tried to scramble to keep that play alive, and he was able to get a positive gain out of it.
Yeah, and Life Christian uses a timeout here to preserve some clock. There's 30 seconds on the clock, so they'll have a chance to run at least one more play, if not a few. They only have 4 games on their schedule right now. It obviously gets complicated state by state based on coronavirus restrictions. Right now, the only other game on their schedule will be at McCallie High School, which is in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and that's scheduled for October 23rd. So they don't have a game the next 2 weeks. We'll see if that evolves at all for Life Christian, but for you folks watching with an interest in them, that'll be their next game on October 23rd at 7 p.m. And we mentioned it earlier, IMG will be on the road at Duncanville next Saturday at 8 o'clock before having 3 home games to finish out the season against Bishop Sycamore, Clarkson North, and West Toronto Prep, all out-of-state schools. As there you see the next game right there on your screen. Looks like they may have changed the time, 1 o'clock for that game next weekend, October 10th.
Well, I've seen some comments on our group chats from Texans saying that Duncanville is going to give it to IMG. So watch that one. The 2 proud programs, and I know that Texas thinks that they are the inventors of football. But, proud Texans think Duncanville is going to be able to take it to the IMG Ascenders. I'm excited to watch that matchup.
Yeah, the Ascenders will be ready, and that's going to be a fun one. So we'll be tuned into that without a doubt next weekend. First down here for Life Christian. They actually spike it to preserve some clock.
Yeah, they're going to give themselves one more shot. It looks like he did spike that ball before time ran out. Are the officials going to give it to him?
No, they're going to run it. No matter what you do, the clock runs. So even if it's an incompletion, with the 35-plus point deficit, the clock runs. So that'll do it as the ball game comes to an end. We saw some offense in the second half from Life Christian, but unable to score. And you see, this is how they wrap up games nowadays. You raise your helmet to the other team. You don't want to cross paths, and some nice showing of respect here on both sides as they sort of come together at midfield to say thank you for this matchup, because of course the scheduling is awfully difficult these days, and so Life Christian able to get a game here on the road, and IMG says, hey, thanks for coming to our backyard to play this ball game, and they had to put up with a lot of rain. Of course, the rain has just stopped for the first time all night. They played this one in a light rain the entire way through, and IMG gets the win. They improved to 4-0 with 4 games to go on their schedule. We mentioned Life Christian. This is their third of 4 games currently on their schedule. They fall to 1-2, and we'll head back up to Virginia over the weekend. We previewed the matchup with Duncanville a little bit, but overall, Josh, thoughts on IMG's performance when you look at it a little more specifically?
Well, one thing to watch is what happened to J.J. McCarthy. I mean, J.J. McCarthy, we saw with ice on his ankle. We don't know how serious that is. That's going to play a factor if he can't play next week against Duncanville. But IMG did whatever they wanted tonight. J.J. McCarthy was very sharp. If Duncanville's going to come out and be able to compete in that game, they're going to have to control the ball. They're going to have to limit turnovers and mistakes. And they're going to have to do something to put pressure on the IMG offense, because when J.J. McCarthy has time, he's going to hurt you. In addition to that, Lavoisier, Carroll, Katron, Allen, those guys can really run the football, and IMG has a big, strong, powerful offensive line. So we'll see. I don't know exactly what Duncanville has in store for the IMG Ascenders, but it's going to be a tall task for them to overcome this talent.
Yeah, no doubt. You're seeing the highlights on your screen. There were tons of them, both offensively and defensively for IMG. They forced at least 5, maybe 6 turnovers in this game, and offensively they were sharp. There was nothing wrong with what they did on the offensive end. Coach Bobby Acosta has to be thrilled with this performance as they win this one by a final of 52-8. Big thank you to our crew here in Bradenton for braving the rain and getting us these amazing shots here tonight, and for everybody on our team, big thank you to them as we wrap things up tonight from the IMG Academy in Bradenton. For everybody on our team, as well as my partner Josh Phillips, I'm John Vitas saying so long. You'll be back in the very capable hands of Ryan Sudol in a couple weeks as the national team returns home. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.